There we go. All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the May 2025 meeting of the Indianapolis Marion County Board of Trustees. Can we have a call of the roll? Here.
Here.
Dr. Palacio.
Present.
Dr. Payne.
Here.
And Dr. White.
Here.
We do have a quorum.
Thank you very much. All right. We're happy to be hosted tonight at the beautifully renovated Nora branch. Doesn't it look fantastic?
Yes.
My name's Ray Biederman. I have the honor of serving as president of the Board of Trustees. Thank you for joining us this evening. Just 2 weeks ago, we were here for the grand reopening celebration of this very branch. In a moment, you'll hear from the Nora branch manager, Mr. Josh Crane, but I wanted to take a moment and congratulate the entire Nora team on a wonderful event. The branch looks better than ever and is more ready to welcome readers for the upcoming summer reading program. Woohoo! It's hard to believe, but in just 12 days, we will launch the annual summer reading program, one of the library's most cherished traditions, also one of the most exciting times in the Biederman family because of all the awards that are earned throughout the summer for reading. So my kids asked about it 3 times already this week, and it's only Monday. So there you go. I know my fellow board members are already checking out their own summer reading stacks. The summer reading officially kicks off on Saturday, May 31st. And every year it brings together readers of all ages, fostering literacy, curiosity, and a lifelong love of learning. A special thank you to our dedicated library staff for the energy, creativity, and planning they've already put into this year's program, especially our public services and program development teams. They've prepared a robust lineup of events, activities, and book lists for children, teen, and adults alike. I've learned from our programming team that when children see others reading, parents, grandparents, older siblings, and educators, it reinforces strong reading habits that can last a lifetime. Each of us has had a role to play in championing this year's summer reading, whether it's spreading the word, attending events, encouraging others to participate, or modeling good habits by reading with your family. I know personally some of my fondest memories were summer reading with my family. Growing up in the suburbs of Chicago, we had a similar summer reading program, and it was really one of the most special times that I shared with my family. So hopefully we can all do that as well. Registration's already open, and full details are available at the library's website, indpl.org. Now I'd like to invite the Nora branch manager, Mr. Josh Crane, to come forward.
Thank you. Okay, President Biederman, members of the assembled library board, welcome to Nora Branch Library. My name is Josh Crane, and after spending 5 years downtown as the manager of East Washington Street, I have been the branch manager here at Nora since November of 2024. All right, let's see. Just to jump into Nora's story as a library. By the late 1960s, it became apparent that there was a need for a new branch library to serve the rapidly expanding area of suburban Washington Township. In September 1968, Mr. and Mrs. Harrison Idlejorg generously donated a 2.56-acre lot on the corner of 86th and Guilford Avenue for that purpose. The Nora Library opened on July 1st, 1971. An expansion was completed in 1990, which enlarged the original 15,000 square feet to approximately 17,500 square feet. Our most recent renovation was completed on March 15th, 2025. This brought some much needed updates and upgrades to the building, including fixing our roof and drainage, making our space more accessible to people with disabilities, and providing study rooms for our community. Our community room was also revised and now includes a hearing loop system for the hearing impaired. The library worked with Tangram Disability Services to have a universal changing station installed in one of our restrooms. The drive-up book drop is also a popular new feature. Upon seeing our renovated branch for the first time, many visitors have asked if Nora is bigger than it was before, and it is not. We did not expand. We frequently get comments saying that the branch is bright, open, cozy, and welcoming. Other common positive user remarks include the calm environment, the green theme, the natural lighting, and the clearly intentional layout of the branch. Next slide, please. Who we are. Nora's staff consists of a branch manager, obviously me, a circulation supervisor, a supervisor librarian, Erin, she's sitting over there, 3 librarians, 2 public service associates, 8 library assistants, 4 pages, and a rotating group of 20 volunteers. Though I am relatively new to this area, many on my crew have been here for much, much longer. 7 of our employees have been in their current position for more than 10 years. The Nora staff has an extraordinary amount of institutional knowledge and familiarity with our user base. 3 of our employees in particular, Rhonda Tweedy, Kathy Conroe, and Angela Coors, have all been at the Nora branch for more than 20 years. Next slide, please. Who we serve. The total population of Nora and its surrounding neighborhoods is 50,770. As you can see on the first chart, there has been a slight downward trend of 3% in our area's population within the last 5 years. Of that 50,770, roughly 22,850, or 45%, are people of color. The second chart you'll see shows that the Nora area trends a bit older than Marion County as a whole, with our service area averaging 3% more people over the age of 65 than the rest of the city. The third chart shows us that just under 1 in 8 people in our service area primarily speak a language other than English. The most common of these is Spanish, followed by French, Korean, and Arabic. Less than 1 in 20 individuals in Nora's service area is not proficient in English, which is less than half the rate of Marion County as a whole. The fourth chart illustrates that over 11% of our population base live with a disability. Our loop system, universal changing station, accessibility station, accessible emergency exits, braille book collection, large print collection, extremely popular playaway collection, updated restrooms, low glare lighting, comfort and study room amenities all exist in order to best serve these individuals. Next slide, please. How we serve. Next, we're going to take a look at some boilerplate figures, and then I will go into greater detail about exactly what programs Nora Branch has recently offered or is readying itself to offer in the future. I'll need to provide some frame of reference here since we've only been open since Nora was closed for 16 months, and because of the unusual circumstances that necessitated a soft reopening followed by a more measured celebration event, much of this data lacks context. There is value, however, in reviewing the numbers now so that in 2 years, when the library board next meets at Nora, we will be able to appreciate how far we will have come. As in April of 2025, Nora had 8,988 current cardholders and 8,625 patron branch visits. From those branch visits, the public checked out 20,692 physical items, and our public computers were used 912 times. During our first 6 weeks open to the public, Nora had 234 attendees for the 13 programs we offered. Of particular note is the usage of our brand new study rooms, which were reserved 235 times over the month of April. Additionally, Nora Branch held our reopening celebration on Saturday, May 3rd, where 579 attendees enjoyed the Circle City Ghostbusters, live music via Guy Hulbert Jazz, who is actually a personal favorite of mine. He played when I was at East Washington also. Face painting, balloon animals, story times, take-home crafts, and a tulip tree watering ceremony dedicated to the memory of a longtime Nora librarian and manager, the late Delia Blanchard. And now, if you'll indulge me, we'd like to show a short video clip from our celebration.
Thank you to everybody for joining us today as we celebrate the reopening of the newly renovated Nora Branch.
The rearrangement is just awesome. It's just, I think people would be surprised.
How much brighter it is in here, how much more open it is in here, how accessible it is.
I have watched this library grow to this wonderful facility here.
We're here like once a week.
It's a great asset.
This is more than a reopening. It is the beginning of a new chapter of the Nora community.
The great thing about this branch is that it's open and accessible. There's lots of places to come sit.
These spaces are spaces to have for the community to meet, gather as a resource. Also for those who need an extra space or a third space in their life.
They've added so many things that just make it more useful.
The fact that we can come together and pick out things to read that we want to read is a freedom that we need to value greatly.
We have new playaways that you can listen to a book.
I'm most excited about the kids part because they have the audiobooks.
There's so much more than books and so many services, programs, activities for adults as well as kids.
This library especially has provided a wonderful boon to the community it serves.
The new Laura branch reflects our commitment to welcoming spaces, innovation, and public access for all.
Delia Blanchard worked at the Nora branch for 18 years as a librarian and then later as the branch manager.
This tree, this tulip tree, is dedicated to Delia Blanchard, who was the Nora librarian and branch manager from 2000 to 2018.
We just thought that it would be thought of highly by her family and the community and everybody, because there's a lot of longtime patrons that have been coming to this branch for years, so we thought it would be a nice touch to add that.
Next slide, please. There we go. Programs at Nora. Over these next two slides, I'd like to highlight a few of the programs and partnerships that I am uniquely proud of. The Graphic Novel Book Club has followed me from East Washington to Nora. During the last 7+ years, the book club has discussed over 90 titles, often authored or illustrated by women or people of color, and met at 47 different local restaurants and bars. Since the branch reopened to the public, the hard work has begun to re-establish Nora Library as a sought-after destination for children's story times. Currently, we offer family story times once per week with plans to expand to twice weekly this fall. Feedback from parents and caregivers has thus far been overwhelmingly positive, and the efforts of our children's librarians, Beth Pintal and Kimberly Cage, since our reopen, needs to be recognized and celebrated. Other Nora Library programs of note include the remarkably successful Seed Library program, which has its own built-in display next to the circulation desk and has been beautifully maintained by library assistant Kathy Conroe. Our soon-to-launch community puzzle exchange, the origami and yosakoi dance classes we offer in conjunction with the Japan America Society, and the book bike that still rolls around the neighborhood. Next slide, please. Community partners. After being closed for so long, a point of emphasis of mine has been intentionally and sustainably reintroducing Nora Library back into a community that has very clearly missed us while we were gone. Over the last 9 weeks, Nora has tabled at the Jordan YMCA's Healthy Kids Day, Spring Mill Elementary School's Spring Fling event, and MSD of Washington Township's Great North Run and Fitness Fair. Additionally, we have reestablished connections with Nora Elementary and the Jordan YMCA in order to explore the viability of future outreach story times. Sit-down meetings have also been held with the Commons on Meridian Senior Apartments, Helpings of Hope Farm Stand, and the Coalition for Our Immigrant Neighbors in order to work towards hashing out how the library can best align itself to support our community's needs. Lastly, the Japan America Society of Indiana and the Washington Township Early Learning Center have been invited into the branch to put on or take part in successful community programming. Next slide, please. Finally, I wanted to reiterate my vision for Nora's short-term future via 3 goals I have set for myself and for my staff. Firstly, for the rest of 2025, I'll be working to reintroduce Nora to our service area and to our community partners. After being closed for 16 months, this is a task of paramount importance. Secondly, we will also be doing the hard work of right-sizing our collection for the dynamic needs of our ever-evolving user base. This process will take many months of collecting material usage data before we can begin the real work of using that data and our team's professional experience to curate our collection to suit the interests and usage patterns of our library's users. And lastly, we will need to find the right balance between what the community is asking for and Nora staff's capacity to deliver it. There is a very delicate intersection between either trying to be everything to everyone and perhaps overextending ourselves, and zeroing in on what really matters to our community and making sure we are able to deliver it to the best of our ability. Staff capacity is something that I do not believe can be discussed enough, So I have made not over-promising and then under-delivering a key concern with my crew. That's it. Thank you for your time. Are there any questions?
Any questions from the board? Dr. Murtaugh?
Yes, ma'am.
Just wonderful to just hear all the things that you're doing. And you talked about the community partners and how important they are to the branch. And you also mentioned as a goal, reintroducing the branch to the service areas. What are some of the strategies you plan on using?
Because of the unusual circumstances of the way that we opened, part of it is just contacting them and just making sure that they're even aware that we are open again, and just saying, yes, we're here. How can I sit across the table from you and have a meeting and discuss what a community partner needs, and then what we can do to align ourselves with what they need, and if possible. And sometimes it is okay to say, well, we're not able to deliver that right now, or I know somebody else in the community that is perhaps more suited to deliver what you need. So yeah, a lot of making contacts and a lot of reconnecting with partners that we hadn't perhaps worked with in the last 16 months while we were closed.
Makes great sense.
Mm-hmm.
And not over-promising.
Yeah.
Lots of times we say we're going to do, and it's putting that last point of finding the perfect intersection and not overtaxing your colleagues.
I think a lot of us got into this profession to try to be everything to everyone and do the most good that we could. And so part of my job as a leader is to just make sure that we aren't trying to do everything all at once, especially at the beginning, especially right after we reopened. It would just be very easy to just dive right in. In fact, we want to dive right in. That's why we got into this job. So yeah, part of my remit is to just be like, just ask my staff, yes, that's great ideas, but are you capable of going there, of doing that?
Finding the right intersection. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions, comments? Dr. Palacio?
Thanks. Great opening. I really enjoyed the time that I spent here. It wasn't the whole time, but being so close to Carmel, do you see any plaque users coming here?
Yes.
And if so, how many years?
I couldn't give you figures. McKinsey might be able to give you figures on that. But yes, it is a significant amount. And I come from a branch where it was 0. So to me, it was a lot more. So yeah, we see them, if not daily, multiple times per week. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Any other questions, comments? All right. Well, thank you very much. Next on our agenda is a report on information technology operations from Dee Green, manager and business system analyst. Dee.
Hello, everyone. So I'm going to get started with an introduction to my business division. Next slide. One more. Okay, so business systems and messaging is the operations department within IT. We're responsible for managing software, hardware, network, and security. The department provides other IT support such as system administration, device management, mobile contracting, and the help desk services, which is what most people are familiar with. I have 7 people on my team, and they handle all of those things fairly well, and a lot of it for the day-to-day. Next slide. I want to start with our user environment. We've worked to homogenize our operating environment so that everyone can expect to see the same thing, regardless of which branch or even in operation or even in the LSC. Regardless of where they show up, they can expect to see the same hardware, the same software, and have a unified environment for everything that they do. This allows for consistent deployment timelines and performance. Operationally, it allows for comprehensive security and device management, so we know what we have, where we have it, and what the security outfit is. It helps us make sure that we don't have any holes or anything that can be utilized against us because everything's the same. Next slide, please. These are some usage statistics. This is for our public. We had approximately 171,000 PC sessions just in the first quarter of this year. About 150,000 public print jobs and 1,319 tickets. So that is about 19 tickets per day. So we do not have a shortage of work. We get a lot of things done. Most of those tickets were things like hardware issues, a few software issues, but we have a range of things that we do, including just answering simple questions. Next slide, please. We've blocked 26,000 email or logins, and that is not all encompassing. Those are just the things that we've actively blocked. We've gone through and banned a lot of IP addresses. We've set some security parameters to make sure that people don't have the opportunity to try to log in. And that's been a large undertaking, but it's been fruitful. We have 47,000 malicious emails and spam that have been blocked, and that is before it hits the inbox. So those are just counting the emails that people don't get to see. And because we've done all of that work, we've only had 2 real email security related tickets. So that's pretty good. Next slide, please. So the services that we include for the public is PC usage, public printing. Our public printing is done by a vendor, but we make sure that we keep them secure and we cater the access so that everyone that has their information safe and secure. We have been trying to make sure that we hold ourselves to kind of a higher standard than a lot of other places so that we're not unintentionally providing information to the next user or to someone else in the network. So we're constantly looking at what our environment is and how we can improve that stance. A lot of these changes are going to come with the benefit of simplifying the process, and that is going to help us take care of our tickets and such a lot faster. Next slide, please. For those tickets, we have a ticket for every interaction that we have. So when someone calls us, when someone emails us, it all generates a ticket so that we can track trends in usage. We want to make sure that we have not just an idea of, the benchmarks that we want to set, but also any pain points or any issues that other people are having. We can track that by creating that ticket when they report it to us. So we have a good idea of what the turnaround time looks like and how prevalent of a problem something is, as long as people are going ahead and reporting it to us. The ticket includes all of the things that happen to resolve it, as well as an avenue for addressing any other concerns, so people can reply to those tickets with more questions or provide more information. On our ticketing system, we also include a knowledge base so that if there are any issues that people have, they can go ahead and look in that knowledge base and get a lot of those questions answered without having to contact us to generate a ticket. That's more of a service to our end users than it is something for us. We encourage people to use it, but it's not necessary because we're going to help them resolve their issue regardless. Next slide, please. For our email screening, we have a complex system of automated and monitoring that takes reports from users to provide the best possible security for our emails. A lot of it happens before it gets to the users, but we do take their user feedback to make sure that we can have adequate senders, so we're not blocking things we don't intend to block, or we're not missing things that should be blocked. We have VPN screening as well. That is just so that we can monitor yet another way that people contact our network. So we monitor those, and that's where most of our blocked logins come from, is from that VPN interface. It's useful and secure, but only if we guard it right. Does anybody have any questions?
Thank you, Dee. Any questions from the board? Sure, please.
Dee, you know that technology is not one of my gifts. So I can do nothing but praise you for all you do.
Was that Deborah?
That's what I'm getting ready to ask you about these tickets. You said that we had over 47,000 malicious email and spam.
Absolutely. And those are the ones that we block before they even get to the users.
Wow.
Unfortunately, we're a known entity, and those emails, when they send them out, they just send them to our email addresses. So some of them are just things asking for information from us, and that kind of auto robot way where it's like, hey, we want your bank account number. Yeah, nobody's going to realistically look at that. That just gets blocked. But we do have some actors that are actively trying to send us bad links or just bits of code that has been marked by our antivirus as being something that could be malicious. So whenever we prefer to err on the side of caution, we will block all the things that go to you that we think may be malicious. And if you have something that you're looking for, we'll absolutely look for it and make sure that it's there. And if you're expecting it, then we'll take a look at it a little bit more closely, make sure that it's safe, and then we can release it to you. But with 47,000, and that's malicious and spam, because some of it's just spam, we don't want to have you have to go through that, because most of those are going to board members, directors, HR, accounting, because those are the targets that criminals really want to hit.
Thank you. And your team.
Any other questions for Dee?
And you.
Oh, Dr. Palacio.
So thanks for everything you're doing, and it sounds like you're doing a lot to keep us safe. So thanks for that. You mentioned knowledge base. Are we thinking of using AI now or in the future to convert that knowledge base into some sort of more interactive way of finding information?
Something like a chat bot has been kind of spitballed. However, for us to use it, we would either have to outsource and have somebody build that for us, or we're going to have to take the time to build it for ourselves. And with the current workload, we just haven't gotten there yet.
All right, thanks.
Any other questions for Dee? All right, thank you very much, Dee. Okay, next we move on to public comment. Do we have any public comment? No, we do not. Okay, then we move on. Now we move on to approval of minutes from the executive session, regular and special meetings. So there was a regular meeting on April 28th, 2025. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting held on April 28th, 2025?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
The minutes have been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Let us have a roll call.
Mr. Biederman,
Approved.
Dr. Vitale,
Approved.
Dr. Palacio, and Dr. Payne,
Approved.
and Dr. White.
Approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. The motion is carried. Next, on to the executive session held May 8th, 2025. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the executive session held May 8th, 2025?
I'm sorry. Approved.
All right, all right, we've got, it's moved. Is it seconded?
Second.
All right, moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll have a call of the roll.
Mr. Biederman,
Approved.
Dr. Matata,
Approved.
Dr. Palacio,
Approved.
Dr. Payne,
Approved.
and Dr. White.
Approved.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That is carried. All right, let's move on to the Finance Committee. Dr. White, you're the chair of the committee.
Yes, and we were just so busy this period, but we worked our way through it. So this evening, Lolita and Mary will share with you an update on our financial situation.
Today, Mary and I will review our financials up to April 2025, which is about 33% of our current budget year. I will review the revenue and Mary will review the expenditures. On the next slide, yes, thank you. Can you hit it one more time, please? Yes. As you can see, we received about 1.7 million, and this is only 6% of our budgeted amount. And this is typically in flat. At this time, we receive most of our revenue of property taxes in May and June. Currently, as I stated, this is 33% of our budget. So if you look at the fines and fees and charges for services and miscellaneous, you can see that those three categories are either close or over the 33%, which is favorable for us at this time. The charges and services, we received $40,000 for public printing. And also in intergovernmental, we also received about $69,000 of that for E-rate, along with COET and LOET. And then for our miscellaneous revenue, we received a little over $100,000 in interest. And currently our Hoosier Fund interest yield is at 4.43 and Trust Indiana is at 4.29, which is the last couple of months has been staying steady around about that percentage right now. Our documents could be found from page 26 through 44. I'd like to draw everyone's attention to the detail document, which is on page 29 through 31, and that will show our details of our expenditures for your review. Next slide, please. On this slide, on the first graph, you'll see it's a slope graph, which is consistent with the last year and our budget. Our budget is in gray, and this year's information is in the navy blue. Let's see. Again, of the fines and on the other charges and services, I want to point out that we did receive some fines for that, which made that category a little bit higher than normal. And then the next graph is the year-to-date, and as you can see, it's normal except for in the miscellaneous, and that is due to the interest that we received in 2024. And this year is kind of lower because our interest rate is lower this year. Any questions on the revenue before we go to the expenditures? Next slide, please.
On the expenditure side, we're remaining in good position with a total of 28% of our budget spent, whereas calendar-wise, it would be 33% to be even, so that's favorable. Personal services and benefits is the largest expenditure type, and for the month was 2.7 million, and for the year 12.1 million. And supplies is a smaller category with 186,000 this month and 514,000 for the year. Other services and charges is our second largest budget category, and its month to date was approximately 800,000, with its year to date at 4.3 million. Capital outlay, which is primarily for our books, is 230,000 was spent this month, and the year 806,000. And the below part shows the percentages of each of those. The next slide will show more graphs. So on the left side is expenses for the month in a chart format with by type. The budget being for the month being in gray, and so we're under, and we compared to the prior year as well. So we were lower on personal services and benefits, and of course we're lower across the board on the budget side with some increase in supplies. And then on the right is the year-to-date presented in a line graph by type. Again, the budget is in yellow, so you can see that the budget exceeds what we're spending, which is the plan. So, and the blue line is our year-to-date for this year, and orange is last year. So, no real surprises there. Any questions on the expenditures?
That's it for the financial review.
Is there a motion to accept the report of the treasurer for April 2025 for filing for audit? Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Now I'll have a call of the roll.
Mr. Wiedemann.
Approved?
Dr. Matata.
Approved.
Dr. Palacio.
Approved.
Dr. Payne.
Approved.
And Dr. White.
Approved.
Excellent. The motion carried. Anything else?
The next slide just shows just to update that we're still in audit season with a prediction that we'll probably have it done by the end of June. And then we're in budget season right now. So that's it.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Okay. Now we move on to the Diversity Policy and Human Resources Committee. Dr. Palacio, do you have anything to present today?
Thank you. No, we don't.
All right. Now we move on to the Facilities Committee.
Very quick.
Dr. Riolo chairs. Dr. Riolo, do you have anything to present for facilities? No, I don't. Okay. Moving on to the Library Foundation update. So here's a quick update from the Library Foundation. First off, thanks to all the library staff and trustees who attended Circulate Night at the library. They're going to share more information with next month's report. Congratulations to all staff involved in presenting the library summer reading programs for adults and youth. We're proud to support both programs. Next, congratulations to Nora and Pike on their grand reopening. The discounted ceramic tiles are available for each branch if you'd like to have a ceramic tile put up. It's very nice. I've got at least one in the College Avenue branch. And so I point that out to the kids when we go. It's a nice little thing. So you can get one too. The Pike sale goes on through May 31st, and the Nora sale goes on through June 30th. You can purchase the tiles at the indiefoundation.org/give. Last month, there were 307 donors who made gifts to the Library Foundation. The following were the top corporate and foundation donors: Alan Whitehall Clues Charitable Foundation, Inc., Gen Con, Indiana State Museum and Historic Sites, the Indianapolis Healthplex, Kat Sapper and Miller, Ruoff Music Center, and Woodley Farah Mannion Portfolio Management, Inc. Finally, this month, the Library Foundation was able to give more than $255,000 to the library. Examples of major initiatives supported include the summer reading program, special collections, and discretionary funds for the library's CEO and branches. That concludes the foundation report.
Quick question.
I don't know if I can answer it.
For the larger public who might be viewing,
Yeah.
can you say a little bit more about what the ceramic tiles are?
Oh, sure.
What they're for, and
Yeah.
what it typically involve?
Yeah, absolutely. So in each of the branches, there's a wall section to make a donation of to that branch through the foundation, and a tile gets put up, and you get to put your name on it or a name of someone that you'd like to be represented and commemorated in the library. Yeah.
And the usual donation is about what?
Good question.
Okay.
So that's available at libraryfoundation.org/give. All right. So next is the report of the CEO. Mr. Hill.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, Board President, Board of Trustees. First thing I have is Resolution 21-2025, which is the monthly confirmatory resolution related to financial, travel, and personal matters that is before the board each and every month. It's in its typical form, and I ask for your approval of this resolution.
All right. Is there a motion to approve Resolution 21-2025, resolution regarding finances, personnel, and travel?
So moved. Second.
All right. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, can we have a call of the roll?
Mr. Wiedemann.
Approve.
Dr. Matata.
Approved.
Dr. Palacio.
Approved.
Dr. Payne.
Approved.
And Dr. White.
Approved.
And the motion is carried.
All right, moving on. I'll give a brief report. This presentation highlights selected activities and report for the month of April. Additional information is in your board packet. This is the quick agenda here. We'll talk about the average typical day in the library, library programs, staff recognition. I'll go through the annual report real quickly. The Central Engraving Project, branch visits, We Love Our Library campaign, and upcoming events. Sounds like a lot, but it'll go pretty quick. First thing is typical day, April 2025, starting top left-hand corner, physical circulation, 13,526 items on any given day. Study room bookings, we had 163. New card holders, 82. Programs offered was 26. Program attendance, 439. And visitors, 7,119. That's about a 4% increase from a typical day last month. The top branches visited were Glendale, Fort Bend, Michigan Road, and Irvington. And then going back up to physical circulation, I'll give some other locations a shout out. Instead of the typical ones, College had 25,240. North Branch, 20,692. West Perry, 16,983. Programs across the system. In April, adult programs, we had an 8% increase or decrease, I'm sorry, in adult programs from the previous month. And also our participation was down. So normally if you have a decrease in programs, your participation will be down as well. For youth, we had a 7% increase in youth programming from the previous month and then a 13% increase in participation. We had 15,966 participants in 651 youth programs. We had 2,385 participants in 278 adult programs. Star Awards recognition, I'd like to recognize some staff here. Patron services was James Conger from Eagle. Peer support, Elizabeth Tarr from the Children's Museum. Community involvement, Mallory Collins from Beech Grove. Page excellence was Young Han from Fort Bend. And other duties assigned is Marina Zimmerman from Talent Development. And a big round of applause for our staff. All right, real quickly, go through the annual report. I'll go through community impact. So the number of card holders, we had 289,375. Total electronic circulation, you see there a little bit over 3.2 million. Shared systems, we have 86 schools compared to 65 at this time last year. And then our shared system card holders, 50,807. And total electronic includes ebooks, e-audio, e-magazine, and e-video. Virtual and in-person programs, 8,125. Total attendance at these programs was 158,000. Did that screen change? I can't tell. It did, okay. 158,030. Total circulation, about 8.7 million. And then number of library visitors was 2.3 million. So through, in the annual report, there's sections. The first section I'll cover here is the Indianapolis Public Library Strategic Plan Activity in 2024, some of the things that we were able to accomplish. Under the education banner, we launched a new season of Reading Ready Time, which is a virtual experience designed for kids ages 3 to 6 to prepare them for reading and connecting with the library. Our 20 programs had 1,119 streams. Under health and wellness, we offered 440 health and wellness classes for library patrons. And then partnerships, we supported over 75 local child care centers through 840 visits that promoted early childhood literacy, reaching more than 11,000 students. And 2024 library highlights, library programs connecting the community. More than 26,140 children, teenagers, and adults participated in the Indianapolis Public Library's 105th Summer Reading Program, dedicating a total of 21 million minutes and, total of 21 million minutes, I'm sorry. in the new collection items promoting accessibility and inclusion category. In January, we launched a collection of preloaded audiobooks known as playaways to provide audiobooks to community members who may not have smartphones, computers, CD players, or other devices to play audiobooks at home. We also expanded our Braille book collection, and we also introduced Quick Read Collection, which is designed to support adult and teens who are learning to read or desire less content. And then lastly, we have the new Glendale branch opened. It opened in its permanent home in March of 2024. Some of the branch features include a drive-up material return, increased access to computers, and a community meeting room with a capacity of 100 visitors. Update from the Library Foundation portion, something for everyone. Thanks to generous donors, the Library Foundation provided $2.1 million for library programs. Lillian Childress Hall Scholarship awarded. Lillian Hayden Childress Hall was Indiana's first Black librarian, 1889-1958. In 2023, the Library Foundation established the Lillian Childress Hall Scholarship Endowment to honor her legacy. Thanks to generous donors, the Indianapolis Public Library Foundation plans to award at least one $1,500 scholarship each year to help cover costs of a master's degree in library and information science. In addition, to help cover costs, recipients enrolled in IU Indianapolis will receive an extra $500 in tuition remission each semester from the Lundy School of Informatics, Computing, and Engineering. Circulate Night last year, an annual fundraiser held March 16th at the Central Library, raised $90,335. The event had over 280 attendees and 17 sponsors. The Central Engraving Project, the Indianapolis Public Library honored the legacy of 12 influential authors by memorializing their names in the atrium at Central Library. The dedication event was April 22nd, 2025. Students from Riverside Heron, and a student from North Central read excerpts from poems by the authors featured. The installation marks the completion of the second phase of the Central Authors Project, an initiative created to highlight the literary contributions of authors and writers from diverse backgrounds. These 12 authors were selected through a public nomination process that invited library visitors and a broader Indianapolis community to suggest diverse authors for consideration. Staff members from various departments and committees then reviewed and recommended nominees as part of the final selection process. The first phase was unveiled in March of 2022, and a link in your packet will direct you to the webpage that lists those 12 authors. And I want to just give a special thank you to Dr. Michael Twyman, the Indianapolis Public Library Foundation, John Helling, and Adam Parsons for helping get this project completed. You can go ahead and clap. All right. And real quickly, branch visits for April, going back to 2021, as you can see, April 2021 was 106,239, so right around the ending of the pandemic. And you see where we are in 2025 for the month of April, 213,584 visitors. So we are starting to see, of course, patrons and our visitors come back to the branches. And then next, I would like to invite our Chief Communications and Marketing Officer, Mary Barr, real quickly to come up here and just talk about these 3 points about We Love Our Library.
Well, thank you, Mr. Hill, and good evening, Board of Trustees. Happy to talk to you today, just real briefly about a program that we've just launched called We Love Our Library. And what is it? It is an initiative that provides tools and messages for library staff so they can have some conversations with library visitors who are asking, what more can I do to help the library, especially in light of some of the local and national headlines that folks are reading these days. So, of course, the library has a really positive story to be telling, and it's important for us to tell that positive impact that we have. So We Love Our Library helps to share those messages, and we can direct any advocates who want to support us more to some of our tools. The first is a website ndpl.org/love. And that gives 20 ways for folks in our community to give back, from supporting the library, visiting the library, renewing your library card, going to events, also giving back. This is in partnership with the Indianapolis Public Library Foundation. And so that's one of our tools, is directing people to the website. There's also bookmarks. That was an idea from someone from West Perry, which was a great idea. So we're putting these inside the holds in the library with some of the same information as well. By next week, we're going to have a form on our website where folks can offer up their stories of why they love the library. And with some of that user-generated content, that gives us some great things for the future. Be it social media campaigns, advertising campaigns, and just other ways in that regard. So that's what it is. And why does that matter? It is always important to be telling our story. If we don't, who will? And we need to help get some of those stories to us to help share that as well. And why it also matters is keeping our numbers up, be it circulation or card holders. Tells a story about our footprint and our big footprint in Indianapolis. And there's a lot of people who keep track and keep score of that. So the more that we can keep our numbers high, not just meeting those metrics, but those are also some things that for community leaders to know, and just shows our relevance. It also helps on a fundraising arena as well. So that's why it matters for us to continue to get interaction and engagement with our libraries. And then, so that is why it matters. And how can the community help? Well, we do need the community to visit our website, to go to our online catalog, to tell our story to friends and family, and to get them to the library. Also attending our programs, and also then just sharing the word about how great and how people love the library. So we just started. We're going to be building and growing on it, but just wanted to share that out the gate.
Thank you so much.
And lastly, upcoming events, Saturday, May 31st is our summer reading program kickoff. Monday, 9 June is the tentative grand opening of Elevated T Streets Eats, which is our cafe at the Central Library. And then Saturday, June 14th is the 8th annual Book Fest and Juneteenth celebration from 10 to 4. And that is all I have. Any questions?
Thank you for the report, and a special thank you to Mary for the We Love Our Library initiative. It's invaluable, and we need more advocates out here, especially during these times when there's such pushback on the breadth of the work that the library does. So it's such an important one. Every time I go to the different branches, I'm so appreciative of the new study rooms. And as I walked in here, I just looked at the study rooms. Every one of them was packed and in use, and it was just great to see. And I just wanted to thank you and the Adam. He's usually always here. Thanking him and the library staff for advocating for those study rooms, because it makes a difference in terms of the kind of engagement, and with each branch seeing that importance. Also want to commend the fact that we pay a great deal of attention, and I hope our larger community sees how much we're doing for early learning. The reading readiness screens that you mentioned, you gave a specific number about it. I didn't capture it, but that's a big deal for someone who's working at home or have little ones that they have to take care of, but to have that accessibility. But all these early literacy programs that the library is putting on, I just hope that we can get the word out even more about that important foundational work. We oftentimes look at, how do we get young people to go on to college? How do we get them to go on to different kinds of careers, et cetera? But that early literacy, and as an educator, I point it out all the time, it's foundational. And whatever we can do to get the word out that every single little one can be advanced in their reading, when we put into their hands the opportunity to get a book, to get some type of opportunity to read. And so the library has to be commended on just that powerful initiative that we're putting forward. So just wanted to say thank you for that work, and all of the library staff that's really pushing for early literacy. Thank you so very much for making it happen. It makes a difference in our larger community. It makes a difference in terms of academic achievement. It makes a difference in ongoing career opportunities as well. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Machado, for your words. For anyone who hasn't had a chance to take a look at the annual report, not just the people in the room, but the people that may be watching, it's available at your local branch. It has a lot of information there, all the things that we've covered, all the programs, all the great things that the library has done over the past year. So I encourage you, if you hadn't had a chance to take a look at it, to read through the annual report. And if there's no further questions, that's the end of my report.
No, Dr. Palacio?
No questions, but I do want to echo Dr. Murtada's words. So thank you for such eloquent words, and commend Mr. Hill. I almost graduated to doctor. Mr. Hill on all the work that him and the whole team is doing to keep this not only meeting the expectation, exceeding the expectations, and serving the community in a great way. And I know we're pushing for more and trying to take a lead on other things. So I just want to say thanks, congratulations to the whole team that does this every day, like I say. And we come here every month and then other events, but you guys are here in day out. So thank you very much.
Oh, yeah,
And are
please.
we making sure that the city county council is aware of all this?
Yes, ma'am. Lily and I, we meet with a lot of those folks all the time.
Good. Good.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? Nothing? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Never mind.
Perfect. Doctor.
Well, because I'm so shy most of the time, just point of personal privilege this evening. You know, in my short time on the board, I was very concerned the survey that we read last year and the status of the board as interpreted by employees and others was one of the lowest ratings of any of the entities. And we deserve that, quite frankly. I want to commend my fellow board members for your work in this past year to elevate our standings in that regard. But more than that, I don't think we do enough to celebrate our people and ourselves sometimes. We recently completed the annual evaluation of the chief executive officer. And were you going to say something about that, Ray? We didn't last year. So people wonder sometimes, what is the board in relation to how does the board feel about the job that various people are doing, especially the CEO. So I want to take this point of personal privilege to list people in this particular order. First of all, I want to commend Mike and his leadership of the employee union and the integrity that he's brought to that situation and his efforts for clear communication with the leadership, with the board, with the CEO. We can't overlook that, Mike, because you played a critical role in helping to improve the relationships, and that communication that you've helped to improve resulted in many positive, one of which is the increase salaries for various entities in the library. The way you and our CEO, approach that was tremendous, with a tremendous amount of respect for everyone involved in the library. So I want to commend you, the union, in the process of looking at the CEO. I want everybody here and anyone watching to know that we are very, very pleased and proud of our Chief Executive Officer. Mr. Hill has sat in almost every position in the organization, but one of his greatest qualities is he's a people person, and he cares about other individuals, but yet he's able to make the tough decisions and the tough calls. Needless to say, we're very proud of him. I won't tell you his score, but I will tell you that he deserves this appreciation and more. But not only that, he could not accept the praise that we gave to him without talking about other employees in the library system. And he is so pleased with his executive team. And he always wants to share the credit with other people. He's never D1. It's always about the team. And you need to know that we're very proud of that because this is an organization that's a public organization, it's a people organization, and we have to celebrate people. And when the CEO celebrates people each month with his recognitions, is because he cares and he knows that they care. And the more we let people know what's going on, the better it's going to be. All of the employees in the library operation should know that it is a new day in our operations, and that even though the trustee board, we don't always communicate that. We don't have the time or place to say thank you to all of you. We see you, and we understand what's going on, and we want to celebrate that, and want to continue to work to make sure that you are involved in a job that you know we recognize and support you so that you can better support our operation and the library system. And the last thing I would say is that Mr. Hill, because he is modest, he has grown tremendously before our eyes this past year. And it is so wonderful to see him express himself in public, in communications with donors, in public presentations. We're very, very proud of him and pleased with him. And please know we're also very proud of all of you. And we want to continue to elevate our appreciation for you and hopefully elevate some of your appreciation for the board. But I must say to you that keep on supporting each other and don't keep anything to yourself that can compromise our organization. We need to know so that we, in the community, they say, see something, say something. Well, the same thing here. When you see something you know it's not right, continue to communicate that because we have a CEO who cares enough to do something about it. So I want you to understand how very proud we are of him and all of the employees in the library system. So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you very much for what you do for us and for our vast community. That's it.
I was just going to say happy anniversary being CEO, but that was much better said.
I did forget that
Please.
There is more to my report. So if Ms. Miriam McKenzie will give an update on the strategic plan progress.
So very motivated to give you some positive news about our strategic plan after hearing these words about Gregory. I'm here to give you a very early sneak peek at the type of report you're going to be receiving about the strategic plan moving forward. So we are only 1 quarter into the strategic plan, so I don't have any big, flashy accomplishments to bring to you quite yet. But I'd like to give you sort of a baseline read of where we're at, so that when I come back to you in future months, hopefully with those big, flashy announcements, you'll spot them right away. In your board packet, I gave you the full report. I'm just going to point out some highlights. And mostly today, I'm going to be focusing on trying to explain to you how we laid it out, hoping to give you something that you can use at a glance if you want to get a more in-depth view of the data. And then I invite any feedback that you have so that when we come back to you with the longer versions of this report in the future, you can give us some guidance on what you're really hoping to see. So of course, this is a report on the strategic plan, which has 3 elements. We have our priorities, our big areas of focus. So my reports to you will primarily focus on those, and we're using key performance indicators to monitor our work. Those are building off of our goals. So every priority has several goals. I think the largest one had about 7 and the smallest one has 2. And then those goals are building off of our objectives. So those are the operational aspect of the plan. Those are the actions that we take. I will try to make sure that you get the key performance indicators for the priorities every time. For the goals, we'll give you a deep dive into one goal, usually with each report. So over the course of about a year, you should see each of them in turn. And then the objectives will sort of pull out those highlights as they become relevant. But you hear a lot of those in Gregory's CEO reports each month. So I think you'll spot how these are supporting the strategic plan from those other sources of information. Since both the goals and the priorities are relying on key performance indicators, I want to talk with you a little bit about how I've created a report where you can monitor those. Essentially, we're going to be monitoring relative change. So we'll take an initial measurement and we'll take a future measurement and we'll see what the percentage change is. In your packet, if you really want to see the math, I did give you an example because I'm a former math teacher and I don't get to put that in my reports very often. So I indulged myself a little bit there. But essentially what we've done is we've said, hey, 5% is about a significant change for most of these, whether we're looking with a short-term lens or a long-term lens at the data. And so we've created some visual cues for you to say, if things are going well, positive 5% change, you can see a dark blue. If they're, steady, but maybe not exciting, you'll see a light blue straight line. And then if there's something that maybe we want to take a closer look at, not a red flag, we didn't make it red, we made it orange, but just something that we're not quite hitting our strides at, you'll see an orange downward facing arrow. The report is basically going to be laid out so that you have it's a spreadsheet. It's a spreadsheet of numbers, but I didn't want to make you stare at spreadsheets of numbers until you go cross-eyed. So we've tried to make it so that you can scan across each row and see the most important information. So as you look through this report, you'll be able to see this is the key performance indicator, this is the most recent measurement, and then a symbol that tells you, do I maybe want to pause and look at this a little bit more closely or not? So I hope that that means that this is something that you can rely on if you're preparing to have a conversation. Maybe you're going to say, hey, I'm going to have a conversation with someone because we love our library and they're really invested in learning. You could look at the key performance indicators for learning in this report, so it can be a tool that you can use to facilitate deeper conversation with our stakeholders. Let's look at what it actually looks like. Again, at its core, it's a spreadsheet. We have these giant tables. I started with the most boring one, so this is actually the opposite of the way it's laid out in your report. I believe this is on page 4 of your report. We're going to start with well-being, because it shows you the way things are laid out. Well-being is building off health and wellness from the last strategic plan, but it's slightly different. So we have some big ideas that we haven't built into fruition yet into this quarter. So this slide will get more exciting the next time I present it to you. But I did want to show you one of the things that we did for well-being, learning, and belonging. Anytime that we had underneath their goals that were offering programs, we're using the program survey to monitor some key questions. And here we can see that the key questions we asked for those well-being programs were, was this program educational? And am I able to use the knowledge I gained in this program? And we're seeing a 95% positive response rate across those program surveys in the first quarter. So we're starting off very strong there. I don't have anything to compare that to. So you'll see here, we have one column over on the left that's since previous quarter. Since this is the first year of this report, we're really going to lean for a short-term lens on comparing to the previous quarter so you can see how things are progressing. Every report will always compare us to 2024. That's our baseline year. So you'll start to see the right-hand column fill in on some of these other slides where we have previous years to compare to. So here we see belonging, and belonging is really that idea of third place. Have you found that we have considered your needs in our collection and in our spaces and in our programs? So the KPIs we have are things like people count, web traffic. We tend to look at those as per capita, so how much are we meeting the needs of the full community we're tasked with supporting? So what happens is these numbers, normally when you see a quarterly statistical report, we give you a big number, 2 million visitors, 1 million visitors. These are going to be very small numbers because we're dividing them by that per capita number. And what that allows you to do is to sort of notice when there is a change because you're looking at a small number, it's easier to spot those. People count, static. We are going to see over, if you look at compared to 2024 for people count per capita, we're seeing a negative number. So when you see those straight lines, anytime you see a negative number, if you're seeing that over and over again, over time that will start to pile up and that will turn into a downward facing arrow. So it's something that you might want to look at. In this case, hopefully you remember, we've talked about people count, we've talked about visit counts. We made a big transition at the beginning of 2024, and we talked about how the old technology was overcounting. We're still seeing that in this data here. So I'm not concerned about that negative number because I have the context to understand it. Web traffic, I'm seeing a nice upward facing arrow right next to the short-term comparison, and that makes me think, what changed from quarter 4 to quarter 1? We are seeing positive trends in web traffic. However, quarter 1 is McFadden Lecture. It's Meet the Artists. We have these really exciting programs that drive people to our website. I'm hoping we will see a similar number and a similar response to our summer reading program this year. So quarter 3, we might see that large percentage. But on average, we probably won't see that strong of a change from quarter to quarter. Then we have percent of active card holders. We talk about active card holders with you frequently, and we'll see that we started with a pretty strong number. We're seeing some small negative values, but those aren't really huge changes, so there's nothing to really be concerned about there. And then just like on the previous slide, we're going to see some program key questions. So in quarter 1, we were seeing 93 positive response rate to the key questions for belonging. And for belonging, those are, did I feel more connected to other participants or the community because of this program, as well as did I enjoy the program? Next, again, I reordered these so that we build to the most exciting slides. We have learning, and learning is a very exciting slide because, of course, in our last strategic plan, we had many things related to learning and education. So we're really building from a strength here to have a bigger impact. In this slide, you're going to see circulation per active card holder, e-resource usage per active card holder. So those are looking at database and learning platform usage. And of course, an active card holder is someone who's used their card in the past year, essentially. So again, we're giving you something that you've seen previously, combining them together. So you're going to see a smaller number here, but that number is a little bit more meaningful because we've combined multiple metrics. And what you'll see, and we see our kind of first orange downward facing arrow. That's an area where you might want to take a look and say, do I understand what's happening? Well, this relates to circulation, and we've talked previously that we long-term, we're seeing a circulation downward trend because of a variety of impacts in the system. Our short-term lens, that since previous quarter, is positive though. So when you look at those together in context, again, I don't think this is something that we're necessarily going to be worried about. But those orange arrows, you always want to stop and think, do I want to ask a question of Gregory, of McKinsey, so that I understand what's happening here? So we're hoping that comparison of the short term and the long term will give you more information to understand, are we having the impact we expect for our strategic plan? Learning program keys, you're going to see the key questions there are, was it educational, and can I use the knowledge gained again? We started from strength. So I can compare this metric to the previous ones, and you'll see it's a very small change. So we see those two blue arrows. But when you look at that in context, it's because we were pulling such strong numbers previously. As long as those aren't going down, I'm happy those are steady. That's great. And then e-resource usage, you're going to see some large positive upward facing arrows. And again, in previous reports too, we've talked about how people love our databases. Digital Indy, Encyclopedia of Indianapolis are really seeing strong usage in the first quarter. So we're hoping we're going to continue to see those strong numbers in the future. With learning, in your full packet, you're going to have a breakdown of all the goals in learning. We presented that deep dive into that data to you first because we felt like that was where we're really building from that strong foundation in the previous strategic plan. I'm not going to walk through all of those with you, but just to make sure that you've had an opportunity to see everything in context, I'll show you an example for reading and writing here. And what you'll notice is in the previous slides, things are really high, right? It's circulation per active cardholder. If I'm thinking about reading and writing, I don't care about full circulation. I really care about reading materials, audiobooks, ebooks, physical books. And so here you're going to start to see the metrics move away from those combined summaries and back to those numbers that you're used to seeing. So you're going to see a large reading material circulation number, but it's going to be focused in on just the material that's relevant to this particular goal. And then in this goal, we had world language collection, something that we weren't reporting and measuring for you in the past, and we're now starting to measure. And I'm happy to say we're already seeing some really strong results of Deb and the branches and their investment in trying to make the world language collection more findable for people who need it. And then you'll see reading and writing programs. So the previous slide on learning, we were looking at learning program results, what was reported in the survey at the end of the program. And these metrics, we're going to start looking at attendance. What's the broad impact that we're seeing on the community? So if you want to see that level of detail for all the different learning goals, that's in your full report here. I will go ahead and back to you all to see if you have any questions or feedback.
Any questions?
It's a lot of information. We really tried hard to make sure those arrows really give you a lot of like where to focus.
Yes, thank you very much. It was a lot of information to take in, and we are excited to digest it.
And it will be longer next time.
Oh, thank you. Longer next time. Thank you. Oh, boy. All right. Oh, you do? Okay. Please.
Yeah.
Just thanks again. We went through this last year, so this is bringing it to life. So I like seeing the arrows and all that.
And next month, I believe, I have to find Mary's eye to confirm this. I think we're going to have the physical strategic plan for you by next month's meeting. So that'll be great.
Well, thanks again.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, excellent. Got that. Any unfinished business? No. Any new business? No. Future agenda items. This time is made available for discussion of items not on the agenda, which are of interest to library board members. The opportunity is given to suggest items be included in future library meeting agendas. Do any board members have something to suggest for the June 2025 board meeting? Okay, hearing none. Excellent. The next board meeting will be on June 23rd, 2025 at the also newly renovated Pike Branch Library at 6525 Zionsville Road, 6:30 p.m. I adjourn the meeting. Thank you all.